I know there are two sides of every story, and this is my side, possibly the right one. Hello, my name is Sehi. I am a Korean Canadian who was born in Korea. My mom is also Canadian who was naturalized, which means she immigrated to the country and took the citizenship test to be a Canadian. I became Canadian because she could pass on her citizenship to me. In 2009, there was a change made to the Canadian Citizenship Act. Let's say I have a baby named Sehi Jr. According to this act, if I give a birth to my kid in Korea because of my work situation, I can no longer pass on my citizenship to my kid. Or if I decide to stay in Canada and adopt a baby who weren't born in Canada, that baby has to immigrate to this country and apply for the citizenship because I, as a mother, cannot pass on my citizenship to my kid. The change was brought in to target those people who born outside Canada, come here, obtain citizenship, and go back to their country and pass on their citizenship to the children who has no intention to come back to Canada. The government states that this is to protect this value of Canadian citizenship. Then what is Canadian value? Canada is a country of multiculturalism. In 1971, Canada was the first country in the world that adopted multiculturalism as its official policy. Unlike United States, Canada is often described as mosaic rather than melting pot because in Canadian perspective, every culture is meant to be respected as its own. Pretty cool, eh? Not really. If we go back to my story, I live in Canada and I got good Canadian education among good Canadian people. I enjoy watching hockey games and I know how to drink beers. I love reading Margaret Atwood and I think I can make love in canoe if I try. But to Canadian government, I am not good enough. Through the new Canadian Citizenship Act, the government is saying that I am less Canadian because I wasn't born in Canada. Unlike other Canadians who was born in Canada, the government is saying that I'm not trustworthy to have babies in other countries and raise him or her as a good Canadian citizen. But here's the thing. Unlike other Canadians who was born in Canada and got their citizenship by luck, my mom had to earn the citizenship. She had to learn the new language, she had to adopt to the new culture, and she actually had to study the Canadian values and took the oath of citizenship to be a Canadian. It was the government at that time who said that you are worthy of Canadian citizens when they granted the citizenship to her. Then what is this? Instead, the new Canadian Citizenship Act gave me this scarlet letter, sign of bad citizen, sign of B-class citizen, and as an Asian it means I have failed something and my life will fail. It seems like the government assumes that because my mom and I were born outside Canada, we have failed to be a good Canadian citizens. It cannot trust me to have good Canadian babies unless I have them in here, in Canada. And it is not just my story. The government is telling me and you Canadians to have babies in Canada. It is telling you to raise the kids in Canada so that it can trust you and your kids. It is telling you to earn the trust and prove your loyalty to the government because if not, they're gonna punish you and stigmatize you as a B-class citizen, the bad one. As a bad citizen, here I ask you to Mr. Harper and fellow lawmakers, do you really think that it is a good way to raise good citizens by taking away their rights and stigmatize them as bad citizens? No one in this country can deny respecting multiculturalism is one of the most important values that we hold as Canadians. But I don't think the new Citizenship Act is respecting its value. Rather, what it does is making me feel less Canadian. It is taking away my loyalty by insulting my loyalty to the country. If the government cannot trust me after it claims that I'm its citizen, how can I trust my government? Don't government has to be good first before it claims to raise a good citizen? Because I think it does.